I became an entrepreneur in 2004 before I was part of the leadership team of Visa International for Latin America and Compact Computer. I was handling public affairs for international markets. And I was part of one startup that became very famous because back in 1999, when the world was divided between brick and mortars and dot-coms, when the people started to talk about the dot-coms, which were the internet companies of today, I had the opportunity to join the leadership team of a company that was doing financial services. Basically in 1999, telling people that the world will use internet to make payments, that the banks, as we know them, or we knew them at that time, were no longer going to exist, and that people will do transactions on the internet. At that time, I had the first experience with the concept of disruption, things that change the way we do things. And it was super special because it changed me completely as an entrepreneur, because I knew by then, by being part of this bank that was sold later on to Banco Santander Central Hispano from Spain in $785 million. The name of the company was Patagon.com. That internet can change absolutely anything. It changed the way we buy, it changed the way we manage our money, it changed the way we fall in love, it changed the way we learn, and now it's changing the way we work. And today, as a consequence of coronavirus, we're seeing something that it can be like a terrible thing, because coronavirus caused a massive pandemic, and things that are going on are extremely painful and sad and bad in many different aspects. But within this terrible thing that is happening, we can take something good. The silver lining of this is that it will leave us a society that, among other things, is more aware of others, is more conscious, is more sensitive, is more vulnerable, but also it will leave us a society that embraces technology for good. Technology that help us connect with learning, that help us bring together communities, and also technology that allow us to work from anywhere. And we do believe very, very strongly that the work or the job is something that you do and not somewhere you go to. And today, as a consequence of coronavirus, half the universe, 3.9 billion people, are being forced to be locked down at home. Hundreds of millions of people are working remotely, and they're working remotely without processes, without technology, without strategy, without protocols, because they've been forced. And culturally, we were not trained as a society to work remotely, not because it couldn't be done. It was just because culturally, like in our minds, we have a barrier that enable that keep us away from being enabled to work from anywhere. There were like bosses that will tell, oh no, this type of job that you do, you cannot do it from home. This is not going to happen. We like to see the people in the office. And it's nice to see people in an office every once in a while. It's nice to get together with colleagues. But realistically, from the practical perspective, if you do computer-based work, you can do it from anywhere. So now we are living this perfect storm for digital transformation, a perfect storm that is bringing cloud technology, machine learning, data science, artificial intelligence, the on-demand economy. And the on-demand economy, which means like the Uberization of economy, the ability for people and companies to tap onto the resources that they need when they need it, to grow exponentially, to actually access as more important of owning things, change completely the dynamics of the economics of the entrepreneurial life. And this a perfect storm for innovation can bring chaos or can bring opportunity. In the Chinese ideogram of crisis, there are two sides. One is the danger, the other one is the opportunity. And in the danger, we can see the opportunity to push harder, to take the best of ourselves. And we women are super good at that because we do many things out of need that we didn't even believe that we were capable of doing, to provide for our kids, to survive in a new city, to build our new reality when we move from one country to the other, to start up companies, to support organizations, to support causes, to do things that normal people usually don't think that can be accomplished, and we can make this happen. So in this new reality, we are seeing many opportunities. And one thing that is the cornerstone of these opportunities is that transparency is becoming the new norm. Transparency of data, transparency of rules, transparency of expectations. And this is something that internet technology is bringing us. And think, for example, in the stars that we give an Uber driver when he takes us safely from one place to the other, or when we buy something in eBay or in Alibaba or in Amazon, and then we have a good experience, and we give the thumbs up. The transparency, it's bringing us together, and it's creating a virtual meritocracy. And this also applies to the wall of talent, which is what I'm very passionate about. And this remote work that now is a reality for many people from around the world is something that we strongly believe that is here to stay. And it's not just because we believe on this. I've been working on distributed remote first organizations, where are basically organizations that do not have an office, because we don't believe that we need it, because we always believe that we wanted to have the best talent and not being limited geographically to whom we can hire, because we believe that we wanted to have women, and 51% of women leave the workforce because of lack of flexibility. So we wanted to tap onto these very talented individuals that happen to be women, but are very talented professionals. And we tapped on them by enabling remote work. But now COVID make it a reality for everyone today. And now even the CFOs that were like so holding on to their physical structures and to this like power place of like my office, my people, my desk, my corner, now it's totally different. And 8 out of 10 believe, and they said to Gartner, that they will continue working remotely. This brings a wall of opportunities for women especially, brings the opportunity to connect the dots, to connect women with jobs that can be done flexibly from anywhere in the world, because it's way beyond working from home. It means working from anywhere. Means that if you are living in a teeny tiny city, let's say we are working right now with the Inter-American Development Bank in a project to train women in digital skills for employability, training them to become growth marketers in SheWorks Academy, which is one of our projects. These women in Guatemala are working already for startups in Silicon Valley. And it breaks the barriers because talent is here, opportunity is here, internet, remote work connects them. So this labor intermediation technology allows companies to hire from anywhere. But when we think of remote work, in our experience that we work in this space building software and building platforms and educating people to become better remote workers, we encounter 3 main issues that need to be addressed. The issue of trust. And trust, it's not, I don't trust my people. It's more about building an ecosystem, building a method, building a process that will allow the managers to have a smart verification or keeping people accountable so they can provide feedback in real time. So think of changing the canvas from showing up in an office, warming up a chair and showing up for work, into showing up for work from wherever you want to be, just by connecting and reporting to the internet. So your boss will have a clear idea that you are actually working and not doing Netflix marathon, or not like doing Pokemon hunt, or doing whatever thing you want to do in your spare time, but you are not supposed to do when you are showing up at work. So how we build trust in the digital environment? By showing up in the internet. Then how do we build collaboration, engagement, and productivity? And many people very wrongly think that just because people are not in an office, they are not being productive. There are hundreds of studies that prove that what they call distributed teams are way more productive than co-localized teams. Co-localized are the teams that are in the same office environment, same location, co-localized. And how do we collaborate? And yeah, we are in the internet age, so we don't collaborate by putting post-its on someone else's computer. We collaborate by exchanging files, by sharing ideas, by using Google Docs, by using Asana, by sending a multiple person chats or WhatsApp to the WhatsApp group, or voice notes, or even co-creating in a different platform that allows for methodologies like design thinking. So in doing that, we will generate engagement. So the team could be located anywhere in the world, and we are a team. And see, for example, here with us is Gisela. Gisela is my right hand, is my lifesaver. I met Gisela how many times? Once?
Yes, only once.
Because we have a drink with the team in Argentina. So, and the same situation happens with many other very, very key team members in our organization. Maricruz, that lives in Santa Fe, Natalia, that lives in Gualeguaychú, in the northern of Argentina, in Entre Rios, in one province, many different people. Rosana, that lives in Guatemala, Liesl, that lives in Venezuela. And by the way, I met Liesl in the World Entrepreneurship Summit once in Amsterdam, in The Hague, 2 years ago. And when I met her, I said, like, I would love for you to be part of this team. And this is the type of connections that you build through technology. It's based on reliability. It's not based on physical contact. So collaboration, engagement, and productivity, they are by no means discouraged, but empowered by technology. People that can be much more and are effectively much more productive, much more engaged, and much more productive when they are kept accountable, and technology help us, all of us, to keep ourselves and to keep our people in the team accountable. But more importantly, it's not technology, it's good processes, good policies, good work standards that keep people accountable. Technology is an enabler. And this happens in offices, environments, and in virtual environments. And talking about accountability, also, as I said, like technology brings this concept of virtual democracy, where it counts if you do things right, and it really makes a difference, and it will enable you and empower you to get better opportunities and to get recognized and value for your success and contributions. So as I said, distributed teams perform much, much better and efficiency than co-localized teams. And this is a study from Sloan, from MIT. And I can send you the presentation if you want afterwards, if for you to keep. So when we think of remote work, we think of many, many different benefits. I won't outline the obvious because you are experiencing it on your own. But one thing that for me is like a game changer is that you can access to the best resources, no matter where the company is. And I sometimes get super upset when companies, like, you know, everybody says like, oh, we support women, like women are the best in the world. But if they want to support women, they need to hire women. They need to fund women. They need to cut all the BS and actually put their money where their mouth is. When they say, yes, we like diversity, but yeah, our management team is like, yeah, no, that doesn't work. Like, women today accomplish much more advanced educational degrees than men. 57% of advanced degrees, masters and PhDs, are accounted for by women. So women get more degrees than men. Women work harder because we put everything when we are out there to get things done. Like, I remember a very controversial woman, but she said something that it was very cool. And they say, you want something done? Ask a woman. And it was Margaret Thatcher. And I know that if I ask a team member, and this team member is a woman, things are going to get done no matter what. We find our way. So we can get these resources and we can tap onto these magnificent powerhouses that are out there, many times hidden in their houses, because 51% of women have to choose between work and life, just because companies were so stuck in their old models, so tied up to their power plays, to not allow women to work flexibly. And we are not in the Flintstones area, we're in the digital area. So Argentinians will understand when I say, like, forget the picapiedras, like, we need to embrace technology. And this is something that, as a silver lining, COVID will bring us. It will also allow for flexibility, to react to new challenges, to build efficient teams as required. And now for us, amidst all this crisis, we're growing a lot and we have the opportunity to hire a lot of people. And we are lucky and blessed and grateful for the opportunity to give back to the community by hiring new people, especially in this situation in the economy. But we can do it because we build an on-demand organization, an organization that is built on the concept of agility. We hire when we need it. We do, as I define, like the Hunger's game, we give people the opportunity to impress, and then when they impress us, we don't let them go. We grow with them, we give them the opportunities to prove their value, instead of doing like 6 months, 6 weeks or whatever, like ongoing, like 360-degree interviews. We do trial to hire. And this allows us to be flexible, to be efficient, to be lean, but not being mean. And being fair is the best thing that you can do, because being nice is super easy. But giving the opportunity to people, no matter where they are, just because they deserve it, is how you build a great organization. And this flexibility, it's allowed by the fact that we are not limited by full-time, part-time, on location, geographical barriers. We can accommodate to what people can do and grow accordingly. We are also much more efficient because of remote work, because it allows us to hire in markets where there are valuable talent and opportunities are not available. We can save on offices. We can transfer the benefit to provide education and give back to the community. We can build much more agile organizations. And it's also help you to be able to save a lot of costs. So this is translatable to all the different companies. But when we think of remote work and how we success in this remote work culture, or in this remote work environment, we need to think of 4 things. One is culture. And again, the biggest challenge, it's in people's minds. It's not in the technology. It's how do we change the way we work? And when we say how do we change the work we work, we are talking about how do we change our workflows. If we have workflows, in many cases, many companies don't even have workflows. They just go by the day. And as many managers are not great managers, they feel that they will lose control if they decentralize organization and let people go and work remotely. So the first thing that we need to provide is like a clear expectations on how to work processes, internal business processes and flows that allows for clear objective settings, clear deadlines, clear paths, and clear methods of getting the things done. How we want things done, when do we want to report, what will be the communication layers and interactions that we want to use for that. Then the technology that will enable us to do that more efficiently. How we will tap technology to make our lives simpler, to cut hours and shave hours from the clock, so we can spend more time, even more time than we are already saving by not having to commute for 2 or 3 hours to work, or getting ready, at least from the waist up. Yes, I'm wearing shorts and flip-flops, just to be on a conference call, which is all that is required, and be picture perfect. So all this time that we will use to get our lives back, get our lives in control. Then the talent, and the talent can be divided into 2 clusters, the talent that is leading teams and the talent that is working remotely. And also we need to consider that one thing is to work with distributed teams as a remote first organization. A different thing is to work as a remote team in a hybrid organization where you have some people in an office, some people that are distributed, and then there are the challenges of the ones that are distributed not getting considered, or like, you know, being too away of the office politics, not that they should exist, but they exist. And one of the perks of working remotely, if I don't have to deal with that things. So it's really, really cool, because the reason why I left corporate America was because of that. It pains me that I couldn't get things done because of politics, because these are the things that gets on the way to results. And then one very, very important thing is the culture. And how do we build a culture of excellence, a culture of commitment, a culture of innovation, a culture of teamwork, a culture of integrity, a culture of transparency. When we have distributed teams, exactly in the same way that we will build it if we have them in an office. Absolutely no difference. And I will show you a little bit of how we do it, and would love to open up for questions if you have any inquire or any concerns. And this is Maricruz, as I mentioned. This is how we do it. We do a lot of video calls. We do we use a lot of technology for collaborating remotely, like the Google Docs suite. We use our technology. We basically coordinate the work of people with interactions that could be one-on-one or can be group led via different tools. But one of the most important things that we do is we make explicit the implicit. What does it mean? That you should not assume that people understand the things in the same way that you will understand, for many reasons. We are different people, but when you lead a global team, we have different cultures, and different cultures brings different approaches and different ways of understanding how things can be done and how things should be communicated. So we need to make explicit the implicit. That means outlining exactly how we wanted, what we wanted, when we wanted, and how we want it to be reported and delivered. And this is something that it's very important because there are a lot of social, emotional, and task-related processes that need to be set up and that we need to be aware. We need people who have or should develop a specific skills that perhaps don't have on their own, or they have and they hadn't bring them to their full potential, related to teamwork, the sense of being a unit. And in my experience, smaller teams like nodes perform much, much better. So we have the organization set up in different groups, like the IT group is a very close node, the design team, the community management team, the partnerships team, the business development team, the strategy teams, they all work super closely and they interlink with each other. But this setup of like a small nodes, like a small groups work great. And if they are like somehow closely located, or they can meet occasionally, it really makes a difference. One experience was for the carnival when Gisela met Natalia, the designer. They were living in different cities and they got together and they did something social, but they had known each other for quite some time working together. And then like occasionally they can get together and build that personal bond. But for the operational day-to-day activities, you can work literally from anywhere. And then one thing that it worked extremely well for us, and I think it's consistent with the feedback that we get from any of our clients and partners, is put FaceTime. FaceTime means that don't use traditional conference call. The conference call without images is the killer number one of the sense of belonging as a community, as a team. Put a face, and it doesn't matter if this face is intermediated by technology, it's a face-to-face. As redefined by millennials that grew up like doing WhatsApp, FaceTime, Snapchat, FaceTime is now Zoom, is now WhatsApp video, is now FaceTime, is now WebEx. Is the opportunity to put a face and intermediate and connect the dots between the people through the technology and through the distance. And then build a global culture, build a culture of understanding, build a culture in which you are respectful of people who see things in a different way. Build a diverse team. The most beautiful thing that I can say about my team is that it's absolutely diverse. We have people from all over the places. We have people from different point of views and walks in life that brings enormous amount of value of all ages. And we like that, because even though my heart is in supporting women, to support women, we don't need to only be women. We actually need to integrate people who have a different point of view and different experiences, because this is how we become richer. We have people that are older, people that are younger, people that are from large cities in Europe and in America, people who are from Central and Eastern Europe, people who are from pretty much any corner of the world that we engage periodically or occasionally as part of our extended team, because we build an organization based on the concept of on demand. So we tapped onto our network. At SheWorks, we have over 20,000 amazing women that are pre-selected to be hired. And we favor, of course, the hiring through our network first. So we go first there to see if we find someone. And then if we don't find exactly the same profile, we invite them to join our organization. So these clear processes that are super important to set up the way we will work includes the standardization of deliverables, how we want things done. In my case, I tend to be a pain with format because I'm a design nuts. I love design. I'm not a designer, but I can tell very clearly when something is nicely designed or not. It hurts my eyes, it makes my eyes bleed to see ugly design. So everyone in my team knows and give me a thumbs up. They send me something and I say I like it. I don't like emails with colors. I know that the standard is like Arial 10, that it has to be formatted in a way that is consistent. They know that I hate attachments, and we don't use attachment because collaboration with online live documents is infinitely more efficient. So how do you standardize the deliverables? How you want things done? And this is not so obvious because we don't always understand things in the same way. So you need to specify, and you say like, okay, if I tell you this is the deadline, I expect you to deliver, I expect you to tell me that it couldn't be done. And if I expect this to be a final product, I expect this to be bulletproof. If not, put a big draft on it. I'm just like taking it to the extreme, but it's just exactly how you avoid confusions and how you avoid disappointing by setting clear expectations and a very clear structure and format and project deliverables of everything that you want to have it done. We have Cloud Working Academy, and I can gladly give you access to the e-learning platform so you can see all the materials that are there and use them at your leisure. We are basically trying to train the world on how to work remotely, collecting the best practices and sharing our own. If someone finds them useful, it's for you to take. But I think that this is super important. And another thing that is important, as we said, we have the culture, we have the processes, we have the tools, and we have the people. And the tools can involve chats, and chats can be like chats, like for example, with Slack. In our platform, we develop a technology that allows for the multiple person chat, which is basically anyone that it's on a project or it's in a group have a space in which they can chat and exchange ideas, documents, concepts, progress with the people in their group. But you can do one-to-one person chat, or you can create special groups or units. And chat works much better for short communications that are synchronic. The wall is divided between synchronic and asynchronic communications. And when it's synchronic is like I expect a fast response, I need feedback right away. When it's asynchronic, I just drop an email and whenever you are ready, just get back to me. And there are some other examples of that. Tools, and I think I squeeze a Spanish chat, so take it as a Spanish lesson as well. I'll read it in English. Tools to manage projects and tasks. And this is also very important. We develop in our platform one tool that has a smart Gantt chart that basically allows us to track in real time if a project missed the deadline or it's in overtime. It's super important because we are very agile and we are very cost sensitive. So we don't want to burn money unnecessarily. So we want to make sure that we understand very clearly that time is money. Missing deadlines is missing money. Even though people is in our team, when we don't deliver on time, we are wasting resources and we are wasting money. So the remote workforce management platform through the project management tool enables us to see if we miss a deadline or if we are in overtime. But there are many other theirs like Monday, Trello, Basecamp, very, very good tools that also you may consider. Remote workforce management, this is our piece of cake. This is what we do, is basically helping companies to set up their virtual organizations, like if they were like their virtual subsidiaries, so they can have visibility of who is out there, skills, competencies, experience, availability, tap onto the gig economy or the global pool of talent, bring them into your virtual company, and then assign them to work. Collaboration and creation of content. And this is what I said. My favorite is the Google Drive suite, because I hate attachments and I hate to dig in emails to try to find the latest version of the last press release or the last proposal. So when you share it with people, you are basically collaborating in the cloud canvas. And this is something that Google Docs through PowerPoint. And for example, this pretty presentation was done thanks to the courtesy of 5 amazing members of my team that were from different places around the clock. So I could get it ready on time for my masterclass from tomorrow, where I got this slide in Spanish and I oversaw it. The mistake was mine, not them. They did it in Spanish. And then this is something that you can do. You can put a lot of people working on the same projects and get it in record time, because it basically actualized in real time. Then video conferencing, magic, very, very important. Only recommendation, don't do open Zooms. You may get very, very disgusting surprises. Just be careful. There are a lot of intrusions. We experience that too. As they say, we are learning a lot as we go, because we do believe that there is like a lot of danger, as well as these things are becoming more massive, and this is something that it also brings a lot of value for learning and for sharing, for building community, for engaging with people. And also another thing that is super important is, where do we save the files? And don't save the files in your computer. I learned it the hard way many years ago when I took a pill to sleep of an over the ocean flight, and I forgot my computer, my laptop on the overhead compartment with all the files. Never ever again I save the files in a device. And this is just something that it's so cultural, because we tend to believe that if we have things physically, it's safer. No, it is not. It's much safer if you have them in Amazon.com, in Google Drive, in Dropbox, in Sky, in any of the platforms. Plus, you can access them from anywhere, no matter what device you are using. Then the time tracking, and this is super important because it will bring you visibility on where your time is going, because sometimes we go in circles and we spend so much time and we end up with the feeling that we didn't get anything accomplished. Having the ability to track your time, it will bring you very valuable data to understand your productivity, to understand what are the time wasters, and to understand through analytics how you should improve your performance, how your company is behaving, how your organization is behaving, and also bringing transparency so you can better manage a team and compensate it accordingly. So these are the tools, and I can share the documents so you can have a more details. I went through that very, very quickly before, but again, three areas: collaborations and visibility, accountability, and engagement. And there are many different tools in the market that can help you individually or as a team with that. And this is how we do it. We develop a technology that, again, as I mentioned to Zoe, it's for you to use. We can give like 2 months for you to use for free, so you can enjoy it and try it and give us feedback during coronavirus if you need to manage your team and if you need any help. But basically, our technology allows us, because we are our first client, we actually decided to develop this technology when I was living in Verona, in Italy. And I have my team highly distributed, and I needed to bring efficiency. It was very early on 2018, And then when the world was in another crisis, we tend to go from one crisis to the other. And as Eric Smith said, scarcity breeds clarity. And in this clarity, I needed to be more efficient, and I needed to build a company that will deliver more value to my clients. I had at that time an interactive production studio. As I mentioned, my background is in public affairs and PR. I used to make people and company famous. And then I was delivering services. And I wanted to provide a service with a plus. Great service, but the ability for my clients to see exactly how we were cooking, like an open kitchen concept in which you can see how the cook is preparing your dish, and it brings you trust, and it brings you engagement, and it brings you the opportunity to actually see how things are evolving and like them a lot more because they are transparent. So we did that for our clients, but we did it also for ourselves. We needed to increase productivity. We needed to disable the offices because we were spending a lot of money. Cisco says that it costs $10,000 to $20,000 per person per year to have someone in an office. So we wanted to save a lot of money and enable people to work from anywhere. So we developed this technology that replicates the concept of checking in an office so people can show up at work. We can get data analytics to track the progress of the activities, to provide feedback, to engage with them, and to understand productivity. This is by no means about control. This is about accountability, because when you bring data, you understand how things are evolving, but it allows you to understand what are the unit economics of your company. Company could be organization, could be movement, could be your group of friends that are starting up something. I'm just using company as an illustration. So what happened here is, like, when people sign up to work, they actually check in the cloud and they start working, and the technology basically creates a timesheet that shows and tracks the time spent by each person, by each project, by each activity, by anything that can be set up as a category that you want to follow and you want to understand. So you can see, for example, if you're paying someone by the hour, you can actually fairly compensate this person by the hourly. And if the work is not to your liking, you can compensate for the work delivered and say, thank you, this is not working out. And instead of trying to figure out how you're going to cut on the contract, or being locked just because you did a scope of work and you don't know how to fairly compensate someone who spent time but didn't give you something that you want, how you can actually make it efficient, fair, and how you can keep people accountable. So it will allow you to understand exactly how the team is performing. It will allow you to provide feedback, and this is similar to Google Doc. When people sign up for sharing the work that they are doing, the supervisor can see the evolution and can say, I don't like orange. Please use red, or use this brand manual. And you don't need to wait until the D-Day to realize that something was not your liking. So it engages also with the collaboration tool. So you can basically set up the comments on the portions that you don't like, send a note, do a video call, and participate and make a synchronic or asynchronic, if the person is not connected, comments to the work. It also allows to see the skills of the people that you have in your workforce. And this is super important, because many times we don't have any idea how capable our team members are, because we don't screen carefully what are their skills, competencies, experience, and we don't have technology to do a skill discovery. When we do that, we are allowed to have a clear understanding of what are the skill sets, what type of experience each one can bring. And imagine that you can grow an organization to thousands of hundreds of thousands of people, and then it applies the same concept of Match.com, but instead of like finding a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you can find the best person for the job. And we do believe through SheWorks, which is our labor intermediation platform, our platform to help women get hired, that this best person for the job can be a woman or should be a woman, and it could be anywhere. So this allows to show the hiring managers, women from all over the planet, that can be found thanks to the power of data, cloud technology, on-demand economy, and the internet. So our technology has two sides. One side is the labor market, or what we call the talent marketplace or talent exchange, and then the remote workforce management capabilities. And when we do the facilitation for women to get jobs, it's called SheWorks. When we license other companies to build their own SheWorks, it's called transparent business, but it's exactly the same. And it allows also, as I said, to create these conversations by following up the progress of the different tasks and having the project leaders having visibility of all the group discussions and centralize all the assets and making it super simple for them to track. And then project management, again, super important, and we put a twist which add a smart Gantt chart functionality to allow people to see exactly and in real time when there was a end or a missed deadline or something goes over budget. So it's super simple. You can just click here, set up a task, and this task gets sent to the person that you are allocating the task. You can put a start date, due date, and this goes back again to the concept of setting clear expectations. Because if we set clear expectations and we forget what the expectations were, because we didn't use technology or we are just like doing 2,000 things at the same time, it becomes super challenging. So with technology, we keep ourselves accountable, but we keep our teams accountable as well. So when they start working, they can receive the files associated, they will receive a clear notification on when we expect them to do a specific thing. And the manager can have visibility on the problematic areas. Because if something is not delivered on time, as the technology intelligently grabs the data, it will show you in red that a deadline was missed and that the project hours allocation were overspent. If they are in yellow, is the deadline was not missed, but they are probably in overtime, so you may want to look closer. And if it's green, it doesn't matter, like it's everything well, so you don't need to interact. And then it gives you a lot of data. And this data helps me to run a 100% digital organization, digitize the workflow, enables me to cut fat, to make business decisions, to scale when the opportunity arises, to be able to focus on the talent and focus on the things that provide more value rather than chasing herding cats around, asking people for reports, or like some crazy practices companies were asking people to complete manual input on what they did every single hour, which is absurd. So it releases a lot of the pressure to manage, because it brings the opportunity to have visibility and accountability. And this is what I said about building a virtual meritocracy. People, especially millennials, they want to be rewarded, and they want to receive feedback for their performance, fast feedback. They want to get the thumbs up. We develop this based on the Net Promoter Score, and we evaluate the quality of the service delivered, the level of expertise, if they meet the deadlines and the goals, if they have good communications skills. And then we ask, when we get in an engagement, if they will rehire this person or if they will recommend it. And this is how also talent in our platform, when we promote the talent, gets higher. The algorithm promotes the best performers. So people care when you have the opportunity to actually being rewarded and recognized for your worth. And this is made the difference between like the taxi drivers and the Uber drivers. Like the taxi driver, they don't care, like, you know, they drop you, you'll never hear from them. It's just like, they don't have an incentive to do a good job, because as they said in the tango in Argentina, todo vale 20, everything worth 20. So that's pretty much the same thing. So we are doing a lot of media. As I said, I used to make people famous in the past, so we are trying to get the word out, evangelizing on the importance that we have now as a society to embrace distributed work and remote work as a plan A, not as a plan B, not what we do during COVID, is what we do because of COVID, because COVID led the digital transformation of our companies, the digital transformation that no CEOs, no CIO, no CXOs could do was led by COVID. And as you could see, it's becoming a reality, and it's becoming a mainstream reality. And I will wrap up and open for questions with something that one entrepreneur that I really like, that inspired me enormously, which is Chef Bezos, said and guide me in every single pursuit, even when they called me La Chica Loca many times because I was talking about remote work and I didn't have an office, and I have to pretend that I have an office because people will like look down at me because I didn't have an office. They saw that I was not like real, that I was going to run away with the business or things like that. Things that happened many years ago, because before co-working spaces became cool, and before coronavirus make remote work the norm. And I think that the main concept here is like, we have to invent now. We have the opportunity to redefine how things are done and how we want things to get done. Hence, we need to experiment. And by experiment, it is how we get to the things that will work for us. It's not my recipe. It's not how we do it. Well, how we do it, it worked for us, and we hope that some of them will ignite your curiosity and will spark some interest in exploring how it will be the best model for you. And I hope it helps you to benefit as much from this digital transformation that we pursue internally as many years ago, and that you end up seeing COVID-19 as the accelerator for positive change as well, and that it's embraced a model of work that, aside from everyone, brings much more diversity into the workplace. So thank you very much. I'm open. I'm here for questions, and if you need some more information, if you want me to deep dive on anything, please let me know.
Okay, we have one question from Susana Alvarez. She asked if you had any experience working with Microsoft Teams as a collaboration tool.
I work some with Microsoft Teams. We have inside our platform a solution that is very similar. It works well, and Facebook Workplace as well, and WebEx Team. They're all great concepts, and the most important is not the tool that you choose, is that you embrace collaboration powered by technology as your workflow. So I think all of them are super reliable, and they are safe, and they are available. And I think that Microsoft Teams has now an ongoing promotion that can allow people to use it for free during a certain period of time. So I encourage it to do that. There are certain tools that works better for entrepreneurs and some other for enterprises. Microsoft Teams is much more for enterprises, but Asana, for example, or Slack, or even tools like the ones that you can find in Monday or Trello for project management, has much more the agility mindset of smaller teams. And this is all about positioning and user experience. So they are all reliable and they're all good. It just depends on what type of experience, if you want a much more stuffy or a much more agile experience you want to have.
Okay, thank you, Silvina. We have another question from Simita Mankad. She asked if is there such a thing as too much information? With so much information, how do you ensure that you're not getting lost in it?
Yes, too much information is too much information, especially in today's overload. And we are bombarded by data and information in many different ways. Like today, I was just apologizing to a person that I meant to respond in WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is becoming the new email. Just it gets deep dive, and then you see a message and then you lost it, and then you said, okay, I will answer later on when I am not in a crunch, and then we're always in a crunch. So what is super important is to, or what it helped me, I don't know if it's the best way, but it's to do checklist. Before I go to bed, it helps me greatly to make a list of what I need to accomplish. And I try to keep it to 10 things, because I want to make sure that I understand what is urgent and what is important. And I tackle sometimes the urgent first, but I make a point in not missing the important, because sometimes we get overloaded with like fires, and we are all fighting fires all day, personal, professional, you know, from inside our house, from outside our house, and it's super challenging. So it helped me greatly to make this list and to prioritize and to try to be easy on myself, because we are doing what we can. Like, circumstances right now are not ideal for everyone. Bye-bye. So we need to be super tolerant as well as team leaders and as team members, because it's a challenging world. I can see the questions here. Has anyone used the platform for an architectural firm? I don't know if it was for me or for anyone. Our platform can be used for computer-based work. If you do computer-based work, if you do AutoCAD, InDesign, any kind of software, it works well. It can be used for architects as well.
We have a customer, the Dream Builders, that they've been using the tool for a year. So yes, it works.
She knows. Who knows not? I have no idea. Thank you, she said. So, can you please share the application? Yes, she says, if you can please text the name of the app and put Vital Voices, so you can use the licenses to make sure we don't bill you for that. And the Microsoft Teams, we responded, and I don't think I see. Well, thank you, Susana. I see more questions here. If you want to ask me something as a follow-up, or if there is any type of resources, information, or anything that you feel I can do for you, please let me know. As many of you, I'm also an entrepreneur, so we are learning many things as we do, and again, we are experimenting things in this new environment in which everybody is working remotely. So we also expect to learn from the environment and invite you to share your best practices so we can share them with the community. And best way to communicate, we are building a community in Facebook for people interested in cloud working. It's a Cloud Working Academy, and it's totally free, and it's where we are centralizing all the discussions related to how to manage remote teams. And we have also a free online learning platform called Cloud Working Academy, where we do in Spanish master classes every Monday, and then fireside chat with executives and personalities. Like next week, we'll have the president for Latam for Google, for Facebook. Not sure if the next week or the other one will have President Laura Chinchilla, the former president of Costa Rica. We will discuss why women-led countries perform better during coronavirus, and what it takes to be a woman and to lead a nation, and challenges related to, you know, gender, like imposter syndrome, how we can beat the same limits that we set to ourselves and things like that. So if you want to follow that, it will be in Spanish. I am trying to see how I can declutter my life a little bit to do it in English, but I'm not kind of being very successful right now. So as soon as I can, we'll launch this in English as well.
Okay, thank you, Silvina. I don't see any more questions. So if you want, we can wrap up the masterclass, and we can send Zoe a video so she can share with all her network.
Thank you, Silvina. I've been reading all the comments coming down here. This is just so mind-blowing. It's amazing. What an incredible gift you are offering to everyone. So thank you so much for sharing this. I'm just sitting here with my brain on fire right now, just thinking about how this can transform businesses and will be so incredibly useful to many of the women entrepreneurs within the Vital Voices Network, who are reaching many more thousands. So we deeply appreciate it. I know this was just scratching the surface, but unbelievable. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. As I said, Vital Voices family is my family. I'm proud to be part of this incredibly impactful community and be part of your family as well. So if there is anything that this humble entrepreneur can do for you, please let me know. We'll have myself and my amazing team here to support, and again, we are trying to build much more academic resources to take to the community, hopefully expand what we are doing in SheWorks Academy, trying to grow on the skill set for employability in the new economy. I think that will be a huge issue in the coming years and the coming months as well, with all the reshuffle in the market. So we'll keep you posted. If you want to follow us in social media, these are the networks that we have. Mine personally is Miss Internet. As you can imagine, there are not many señoritas in technology. So someone gave me that. It was someone from CNN, because I do tech analysis for them, but make a point that you are part of Vital Voices so we can also follow you back.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Gigi.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Zoe. Thanks for the invitation. And thank you, Regina, and everyone.